Welcome to episode number 308, where I'm going to look at Ayurvedic herbs which have a particular affinity for our eyes. Our eyes are under so much stress and strain these days with our increased screen time that we really need to pay attention to our eye health. And these herbs can be really beneficial to heal our eyes. So please stay tuned. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. This episode is sponsored by Kerala Ayurveda. Promoting eye health is crucial in today's environment. Our eyes serve as primary sensory organs, providing essential information for our cognitive and physical well-being. To safeguard against the potential harm caused by prolonged exposure to harmful light, extended screen usage, and fatigue associated with these factors, Kerala Ayurveda presents its Digi Eye Defense and Eye Clear herbal formulations. Kerala Ayurveda eye care products promote overall eye wellness, assist in the prevention of eye strain, and support visual acuity and clarity. They are thoughtfully formulated with organic herbs and sourced through ethical harvesting practices. And their easy-to-use capsule form makes them a user-friendly addition to your daily routine. Visit keralaayurveda.store and use the code ELEMENTS10KA for 10% off your first order. And you'll find all that info in the show notes. Hey there, it's Colette, and thank you for joining me in this episode today. And I'm going to dive into some Ayurvedic herbs that are beneficial for the eyes. But before I do that, I want to talk about the Ayurvedic perspective on the eyes. Ayurveda considers the eyes to be the organ of Pitta, as sight is regulated by the Pitta dosha. Alochika Pitta, a sub-dosha of the Pitta dosha, resides primarily in the eyes and governs visual perception along with the luster, color, translucence, and temperature of the eyes. Alochika Pitta, with the aid of prana, gives us the ability to focus and is responsible for generating the visual impulse, which prana then carries to the brain. Sadhaka Pitta in the brain then transforms this visual impulse into comprehension and understanding. It's also important to note that there's a close relationship between Alochika Pitta and Ranjaka Pitta, which primarily resides in the liver and spleen. If there's an imbalance in the liver, it can be reflected in the eyes. For example, a yellowing of the sclera, or the white part of the eye, can be a sign of an aggravation of Ranjaka Pitta and Alochika Pitta also. Light sensitivity can also be due to an aggravation in the liver. Other aggravations of Alochika Pitta can manifest in bloodshot eyes, burning in the eyes, inflammation, iritis, conjunctivitis, and styes. Of course, the eyes can also be affected by an aggravation of the kapha and vata doshas. And a vata dosha aggravation can manifest in the eyes as dryness, twitching, tics in the eyes or tremors, unsteady eyes, and degenerative conditions. A kapha dosha aggravation can result in heaviness, drooping eyelids, or an increase of ocular pressure in the eyes, and conditions like glaucoma and cataracts. Our mental and emotional health can also affect our eye health. Tears are the upadhatu or byproduct of majadhatu, our nerve tissue and bone marrow. The main function of majadhatu is communication. Majadhatu releases emotions in the form of tears, and allowing those emotions to flow is an important part of processing and releasing emotions. Suppressing our tears can have an effect on our holistic health. And you know that feeling when we hold back tears, we feel the emotion in our throat, or more specifically in our throat chakra. And we often say we have a lump in our throat. The throat chakra, our communication hub, represents our voice, expressing our truth, expressing our emotions and being heard. A holistic approach is necessary to reverse disease in the body and mind. And so it's important to implement a holistic strategy when treating a rogi with any imbalances in the eyes. And this includes diet, lifestyle, self-care practices for the eyes, therapies for the eyes, yoga asana, pranayama, and mindfulness practices to aid with the awareness, digestion, and release of emotions. This holistic strategy is extremely important to treat and prevent reoccurrence. Of course, Ayurveda always recommends prevention of disease manifestation by ensuring the body and mind remains in a state of balance. And a great way to do that is by ensuring that there's no accumulation of ama or toxins in the body. And at the joint of the seasons, that there's no accumulation of the dosha from the previous season. This is very important right now, and particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, as we're moving out of the hot season, where Pitta dosha was very high. And at the end of the hot season, there can be a natural accumulation of Pitta in the body. And one of the places Pitta dosha can accumulate is in the eyes, with redness, burning, and inflammatory conditions. And the best way to eliminate any accumulation of toxins or doshas and bring the body and mind to a state of balance is with cleansing. And I have a couple of great opportunities available if you're ready to take charge of your health and restore balance that I want to tell you about real quick. The first one is my upcoming discounted group cleanse starting October 6th. And it comes with a 90-minute consult, which we will do online so that I can tailor the cleanse to you, to your current health needs, to your lifestyle, and to your climate. So it doesn't matter where in the world you are. And in fact, we have an international community, and you will all come together in the private community that comes with this cleanse in order to support each other, hold each other accountable, and connect. So if you're interested, please book your 90-minute consult soon. The second option is I'm hosting an Ayurvedic rejuvenation retreat with Dr. Sujata in Bali, December 4th to 10th. And this is an in-house rejuvenation cleanse, which allows you to leave behind all the stressors of daily life and enter into a healing cocoon of Amirta City Ayurvedic Clinic. This beautiful clinic is just outside of Ubud, and you will experience an all-inclusive Ayurvedic retreat with consultations, Ayurvedic food, and several daily treatments tailored to you. There's going to be yoga, mindfulness, and educational classes. You can find more information about these two events on my website. Just go to the events page, and that will give you lots more information. Okay, so moving on with the focus on the eye. So in addition to all the holistic practices that I just recommended in the treatment of eye conditions, there are some great Ayurvedic herbs with an affinity for the eyes. And I'm going to cover the following herbs today: aloe vera, castor oil, chrysanthemum, Coleus, Haritaki, and licorice. And as always, I want to make it very clear that it's important to get professional advice before taking herbs, as it could result in imbalances if you're taking the wrong herb for your current health status. Okay, with that said, let me share with you the amazing healing power of nature and in particular these herbs. So we're starting with aloe vera. Now, I did cover aloe vera in episode number 304 when I talked about Ayurvedic herbs for the skin, because its Sanskrit name is Kumari, which means young maiden, and it helps in maintaining a youthful appearance. Aloe vera has numerous benefits, including as a rasayana or rejuvenative. So let's take a look at the energetics of aloe vera. The rasa or taste is bitter and sweet. The virya or energy is cooling. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is sweet. The gunas or qualities are heavy, unctuous, and slimy. The effect on the doshas, well, it's tri-doshic, so beneficial to all three. And it's also effective for all 7 of the dhatus, the tissues of the body. It has an affinity for the following channels: the digestive channel, or anavaha srotas, the excretory channel, or parishavaha srotas, the circulatory channel, or raktavaha srotas, and the female reproductive channel, artavavaha srotas. Aloe vera is classified as netrarogagna, which means it alleviates ophthalmic diseases or eye diseases. It's also classified as a purgative with the ability to break up accumulation. Aloe vera reduces inflammation of the spleen and the liver. And if you recall earlier, I mentioned the close relationship between Aloe pitta in the eyes and Ranjaka pitta, which primarily resides in the liver and spleen. The anti-inflammatory property of aloe vera cools, soothes, hydrates, nourishes, and reduces any swelling in the eyes. It can be applied externally by using the inner clear flesh of the aloe vera leaf or an aloe vera gel to reduce redness, irritation, and dryness. Okay, so let's move on to the next beneficial herb for the eye, and it's castor oil, or aranda as it's called in Sanskrit. And it's a well-known purgative in Ayurveda. However, it's also classified as a caxusia in Ayurveda in that it's beneficial for the eyes. So let's take a look at the energetics of castor oil. The rasa or taste is sweet, pungent, and astringent. The virya or energy is heating. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is sweet. The gunas or qualities are unctuous, heavy, penetrating, and subtle in that it has the ability to enter into the subtle channels of the body. The effect on the dosha as well as tri-doshic, but it can aggravate pitta in excess because of all that pungent and heating energy. And the effect on the dhatus or tissues, well, it's effective for Rasa dhatu, the plasma, Rakta dhatu, the blood, Mamsa dhatu, the muscle, and Meda dhatu, the fat tissue. And it has an affinity for the following channels: the digestive channel, anavaha srotas, the excretory channel, parishavaha srotas, and the circulatory channel, raktavaha srotas. Now, it is important to note that the whole castor seed itself is toxic due to the protein ricin. However, ricin is denatured after pressing and it's rendered harmless. Castor oil acts as a cleansing agent for the eyes, removing any foreign substances, and it's good for treating styes and conjunctivitis. It has the ability to cleanse, reducing irritation, soothing, lubricating, and restoring the eyes. It can also help prevent dryness and eye infections. In fact, castor oil is one of the main ingredients in several over-the-counter eye drops used to soothe dry eyes. Castor oil also benefits the thin skin around the eyes, improving hydration. So lots of benefits there to castor oil. And now moving on to chrysanthemum, which is known as savanti in Sanskrit, which is derived from the word seva, meaning service, and it's said to promote humility and devotion. So let's take a look at the energetics of chrysanthemum. The rasa or taste is bitter and sweet. The virya or energy is cooling. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is pungent. The gunas or qualities are dry and light. The effect on the doshas, well, it reduces pitta and kapha, but increases vata in excess. The effect on the dhatus or tissues, well, it's effective for the plasma, rasa dhatu, the blood, rakta dhatu, and the nerve tissue, maja dhatu. And it has an affinity for the following channels: the digestive channel, or anavaha srotas, the respiratory channel, pranavaha srotas, and the nervous channel, majavaha srotas. Chrysanthemum is considered a rasayana or rejuvenative, especially for the pitta dosha, with its bitter taste and cooling energy. It helps to pacify Alochika pitta in the eyes and Ranjaka pitta in the liver, reducing inflammation, redness, dryness, itching, and swelling in the eyes. And it's particularly good in conditions like styes, conjunctivitis, and inflammation on the eyelids, which may come from eczema. A tea or chrysanthemum infused water or a poultice of the flowers or a powdered form of the flower can be used. Next, we're going to take a look at Coleus. And Coleus is a member of the mint family, and its Sanskrit name is Makandi. It's well known for reducing intraocular pressure in the eyes. So let's take a look at the energetics of Coleus. Its rasa or taste is pungent. Its virya or energy is heating. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is pungent. And the gunas or qualities are light and dry. It is tridoshic, so balancing for all three doshas. And its effect on the dhatus or tissues, well, it's effective for plasma, which is Rasa dhatu, and the blood, Rakta dhatu. And it has affinity for the following channels: the respiratory channel, or pranavaha srotas, and the circulatory channel, Raktavaha srotas. Coleus has chakshusha properties, which means it's beneficial for the eyes. It reduces the production of fluid in the eyes with its dry quality, which reduces pressure from potential glaucoma and improves vision for people with glaucoma also. Coleus is a rich source of flavonoids, carotenoids, phenolic compounds, and antioxidants, which have been found to have a protective effect on the eyes, reducing stress and damage. Moving on now to Haritaki, and you may have heard of Haritaki as it's one of the three fruits which makes up the very popular herbal remedy, Triphala. The Sanskrit name Haritaki denotes the divinity of this herb. Hari is also the name of Lord Shiva, and Harit means that which cures all diseases. In ancient texts, it is mentioned that a drop of eternal nectar, Amirta, dropped from heaven to earth, which led to the rise of this divine tree, which is a very large tree which can be found growing throughout India. And in fact, there's 7 types of Haritaki. So let's take a look at the energetics of Haritaki. Well, the rasa or taste, well, it has all tastes except for salty, and it's mainly considered astringent and bitter. The virya or energy is heating. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is sweet. The gunas or qualities are light and dry. The effect on the doshas, well, is tridoshic. And the effect on the dhatus or tissues, it affects all 7 dhatus, all 7 of the tissues of the body. So that's what makes it so special. It contains all the tastes except for salty, tridoshic, and affects all 7 dhatus. And it has the affinity for the following channels: the digestive channel, or anavaha srotas, the excretory channel, or purushavaha srotas, the nervous channel, majavaha srotas, and the respiratory channel, pranavaha srotas. Its prabhava or special effect is to reduce any excesses, balancing to the 3 doshas: vata with its sour and sweet taste, pitta with its sweet and bitter and astringent taste, and kapha with its astringent, bitter, and pungent taste. Haritaki is a very versatile herb, and among its many actions has potent chakshusha properties, which means it improves the eyesight and many eye conditions, including watery eyes, dry eyes, styes, inflammatory conditions, and conjunctivitis. A Haritaki eye wash is often used to treat all types of eye conditions. And as I mentioned earlier, Haritaki is one of the 3 fruits in Triphala, the other 2 being Amalaki and Bibitaki. Amalaki, which I talked about in a recent episode on Ayurvedic herbs for the heart, has chakshusha properties, and so does Bibitaki, meaning all the 3 fruits in Triphala are beneficial for the eyes, making Triphala very beneficial for supporting eye health, reducing inflammation, and protecting against oxidative damage. Okay, let's move on to my final herb, which is licorice. Licorice root, or yasimadu, as it's called in Sanskrit, means sweet stick. So let's take a look at the energetics of licorice. Well, the rasa or taste is sweet and bitter. The virya or energy is cooling. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is sweet. The gunas or qualities are heavy and moist. And the effect on the doshas, well, it's tridoshic, but because of those heavy and moist qualities, it can increase kapha in excess. It has an effect on all 7 dhatus, all the 7 tissues of the body, and it has an affinity for the following channels: the digestive channel, Anavaha srotas, the respiratory channel, Pranavaha srotas, the nervous channel, Majavaha srotas, the excretory channel, Parishavaha srotas, and the reproductive channel, Shukravaha srotas. Licorice has chakshusya properties, meaning that it's benefiting the eyes with its sweet, bitter taste and cooling energy, pacifying pitta. And its heavy, moist qualities or gunas nourish vata and the majadhatu or nervous tissue. Its anti-inflammatory properties prevents damage caused by free radicals, which can contribute to the development and progression of cataracts. So that's the benefits of licorice. And finally, I want to mention rose, which I covered in the episode on Ayurvedic herbs for the skin. It's very beneficial for the eyes and it has a great cooling energy. So I need to mention rose in this episode on the eyes. And a very simple way to use rose, you could use distilled rose water, is at the end of a long day on your screens, is to put some of this good quality distilled rose water on a cotton pad and just place it on the eyes for 10 minutes at the end of your day to calm and cool the eyes. So this is a great habit. You know, I don't need to tell you, nowadays our eyes are under so much strain with our increased screen time. And so it's extremely important to take the time to maintain the health of our eyes. And this simple practice with distilled rose water on a cotton pad on the eyes at the end of your day can really help maintain the health of the eyes. And if you need some more support, please connect with me online, as I have many offerings to help you, starting with that discounted group cleanse, which begins soon, October 6th. And this is a great opportunity to really reset your holistic health cleanse that's tailored to you, that includes recipes, yoga, mindfulness, self-care practices. And you come away from this cleanse not only eliminating any buildup of ama in the body, any buildup of the doshas, and preparing you to go into the next season feeling light, clear, and energetic. But it's also a really educational cleanse, building lots of awareness of how to live in tune with the circadian rhythms and with your unique constitution. So check out the link in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com, and just go to the events page where you'll find out about that group discounted cleanse, which starts October 6th. Also on the events page, you'll find information on the 7-day Ayurveda Rejuvenation Retreat happening in Bali, December 4th to 10th. Come join us. That's going to be an amazing experience. Of course, I have my other online services, online consultations, where I put together a strategy for your diet, lifestyle, self-care, and mindfulness practices to help you maintain balance and prevent illness. And of course, I address any current imbalances that are going on. And if the group cleanse of October 6th, that date doesn't work for you, I also offer private cleanses throughout the year where you can choose your own dates. And finally, I have my educational program, the Daily Habits for Holistic Health program, which is a 28-day online self-paced program if you like to just study by yourself. So that's available also. And if you have any questions before you book any of these services, then please take advantage of my free 15-minute online Services Enquiry Call. We can hop on Zoom and I can answer all of your questions. If you haven't already subscribed or followed the podcast, please do so. And the new episodes will automatically download for you every week. And if you're getting benefit from this podcast, I would appreciate a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. This will really help spread this wisdom of Ayurveda. You can find me on social media under Elements Healing and Wellbeing on Facebook and my new Instagram page, Elements of Ayurveda Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I truly appreciate your support. And until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.